My name is Andrew Mozingo, and I'm from Winterville, North Carolina, and I'm here to talk to you about mentorship. I have an audience present. Constitutionalist, author, and political theorist Benjamin Franklin has been quoted in saying, "Tell me, and I forget, teach me, and I may remember, involve me, and I learn." Franklin has been viewed all throughout history as an advocate of education. However, Franklin was more of an advocate on hands-on teaching rather than a basic teaching and learning. Though Franklin's religious beliefs were somewhat skeptical, his advocacy of mentorship can be applied to many different areas, including ministry work. Gathered here tonight, we have individuals who are ministry-focused individuals and those who are not. If you are a ministry-focused individual, then you will understand the importance that a mentor can play as you work to answer the call God has placed on your life. If you are not a ministry-focused individual, it is your job and your duty to support and encourage those who are going into the ministry. One way to do that is by encouraging them to seek to find a mentor. I know much about this topic through trial and error. In May of 2013, I decided to stop running from the calling God had placed on my life, and I decided to work to become a pastor. In my young and naive thinking, I thought that I could take on my education and my ministry experience by myself. I didn't ask help from anybody. I soon learned that that was not the case, and I needed to find somebody who had experience that would be able to help me. God places people in our lives for us to learn from, and that was a lesson that I have learned and a lesson that I would like to share with you tonight. The purpose of this message is to inform my audience that having a mentor as one prepares to enter the ministry can be a blessing and beneficial in answering God's call to successful ministry. I'll give you 3 examples tonight of how mentorship can affect your work in ministry. The first one will be a biblical evidence of mentorship. The second will be how mentorship can aid in your success. And the third will be that mentorship is Christ-like. Did you know that mentorship is not directly spoke of in the Bible, but it is hinted at and signified several times? While mentorship is not directly touched on in the Bible, there are quite a few instances where it is seen. In the book of Exodus in the Old Testament, Jethro mentors his son-in-law Moses as he escaped from Egypt and learned to deal with the trials of a new life. He challenged him to find new ways, to look for new ways to answer questions, and he also challenged him to get rid of fruitless behaviors and actions. Another example of biblical mentorship is Apostle Paul's mentorship of other apostles and his successors and fellow travelers. Apostle Paul was a mentor of many people, and as they would travel and plant churches and evangelize, he was mostly seen as the lead of the group, always instructing the younger generation as to what they needed to be doing. Paul was used by God to harvest some of the strongest Christian leaders that have built the church. Now that we can see mentorship in the Bible, we should look at how mentoring is an aid that God can use in your ministry. As we begin to look at this and seeing how it can fulfill God's calling into the ministry, we should also examine a few good qualities that a mentor should have. A good mentor should exemplify good character and values that not only you admire, but also honor God. As your mentor has character and good values, they will allow you to help develop your own character and values that also honor God. Your mentor needs to be someone who is trusted by you and is trusted to handle the business of God. You will learn to trust them, and they will learn to trust you, and this will teach you who can adequately be trusted in your ministry and who can help you further your career with the church. Thirdly, it is important to make sure that your mentor works in the area that you are interested in working in as well. You will gain much experience through following someone who is already working in a position rather than following someone who is not in that position. After understanding that mentoring is biblical and that your mentor can aid you in your calling God has placed on your life, it is equally important to realize that mentorship is Christ-like. Christian is derived from the name of Christ. Not only should we act like not only should we derive our name from Christ, we should also act like Christ. Christ was a mentor to his disciples and to the apostles, teaching them the ways that they were to act to help build the church. Christianity is a growth process. We do not simply become a Christian and think that it is all finished. Christ was a great teacher and mediator, and since Christ is the head of the church, we should seek not only to mentor the younger generation, but also be mentored ourselves. Scripture shows and illustrates many examples of mentorship throughout the Old and New Testament. There are individuals who are able to fulfill God's calling on their life through the help of a mentor, and mentorship is Christ-like. Since I myself will be entering into the ministry, I will be able to learn from the information that I have provided, and I hope that you will be able to learn from it as well.